Yeah, okay. Look at this. We are back, Tigo. What's going on, everybody? Here we are. The Armchair GM show on Talking Jets is back during the quiet time. Everybody seems kind of quiet right now, huh, Tigo? Everybody, we're talking, but it's like it's getting quiet out there. What do you make of all this? Are you still pumped up for the Jets? Are you gonna take a nap? What are you thinking, Tigo?
I am very much in my summer vacation era, just because. So, as a lot of you know, I'm in school, but I won't be taking classes this summer because of a bunch of crap that happened and whatever that's not important. And I'm just taking a break because, like, this year, I have two kids under 2 running around and bullying me and doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was still doing all of the draft prep that I was doing, watching 250 plus guys to try to have as much info as possible. And I still didn't have everybody because somehow I missed Stiggers and Key.
I was going to say, I bet you missed Squantes Stiggers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still not enough film and all of that stuff. Speak of the devil, Quantes Stiggers and Dakota J always in the house.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking a break because there's nothing to talk about. There's no new signings. The second, third wave of free agency is not going to happen for at least a couple of weeks. Like, it's just camp's not really happening. It's just shorts and throwing long ball. Like, there's nothing to be excited about because there's nothing to see. So it's just, I'm taking a break.
There is very little to see, except feel-goody kind of stuff. Like, you get the story about McSweeney, right? We have the story about Patrick McSweeney. His dad was a New York fireman and season ticket holder for the New York Jets. He passed away in the 9/11 tragedy, and Patrick was 9 months old. And all these years later, here he is trying out for the New York Jets. So you get stuff like that right around now. You get to hear about Malachi Corley was invited to sleep over at Aaron Rodgers' house. I don't know if that's good, bad, scary, freaky, a little bit weird. I don't know.
On that.
Yeah, I would do it though. I'll tell you. If you said, "Hey,
I would too.
Bean, I want you to come over," I'd be like, "All right, I'm on my way."
My biggest thing is just don't give this offensive staff any opportunity to put Alan Lazard on the field.
Oh, he's playing, buddy. As a matter of fact, they
no, but I mean over Malachi Corley.
Oh, right on.
You know, because like early on, we can't deny that Aaron Rodgers and Lazard have a connection. They played a lot together. So
4 years.
So if you're Corley, do everything in your power. Go spend. What do you got to lose? You learn some new things. You do some ayahuasca. Right. Like, come on, you're young. You can run. You can live through the craziness that is Aaron Rodgers.
Imagine Aaron Rodgers. He lands, gets picked up, and he gets to Aaron Rodgers' house, and Aaron Rodgers is standing outside with like a duffel bag or something. He's like, We're going in the darkness for 5 days, young man. Imagine
that'd be mean. That'd be mean if he did that.
Yeah, you find out Malachi Corley had a nervous breakdown, and we lose him for the year.
For just his life, because he's just has to go into an institution just rocking back and forth because he couldn't handle the darkness.
Right. 10 years from now, there's like a story on that guy.
30 for 30 on the third round pick who couldn't handle the darkness.
Right. Couldn't handle the darkness. He couldn't handle meeting himself. That kind of, no wonder he was so violent to everybody else. Well, like, I'll tell you, man, it wouldn't be beyond the realm of normal weirdness for the Jets. I could totally see some weird stuff like that happening. But so, look, we get you get Flight 24, which is pretty damn interesting. I gotta say. Did you see there was a scene in there where Joe Douglas said our next 3 picks, and it was before they took Jordan Travis. He goes, next 3 picks, Jordan Travis, Isaiah Davis, Quantes Stiggers. They had it planned out. Like, here we are watching the boards and all this shit. He's like, yeah, we're taking Stiggers. It doesn't matter. We're taking Isaiah Davis. We're taking Stiggers. It doesn't matter. They already knew. It's
But
crazy
that's
to
the
see.
thing that I think a lot of people like don't understand with NFL big boards is when we're doing a big board, we have to look at every prospect. The NFL teams don't do that. They have a much, much smaller big board because they're going to come into the draft with like 6 guys that they like. And that's it. And they're going to go get as many of those 60 guys as they can.
That's it. Right.
And
You're right.
one of the things where like you come out and you hear or you read that the Jets had Malachi Corley as wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 behind the top 3. That's not outside of the realm of possibility because they could have legitimately just looked at like Troy Franklin too slight, AD Mitchell too raw. They could have come up with something and they said, there's one thing we don't like about this player, or there's one thing that we love about this player. That's it. He's on our board. This guy's not on our board. How many teams didn't have Penix on their board because of the injuries? How many teams didn't have Latu on their board because he medically retired for 2 years?
Right.
That happens. They just remove players. Like it doesn't matter what the value is. We're not going to take this guy because of X.
Right.
That.
Like, what's his name? Trey Smith all those years back made it all the way to the 5th or 6th rounds because of the blood clot thing. And it was like teams, they just took him off. So when it rolled through the round, they weren't even looking at, he was not there for them. You know what I mean? It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing to see. But I love
last
that
year with Tank Dell. Tank Dell had all of the things that you would want, except that he was 4'2", 85 pounds. That's it.
Some teams just said, look, 4'2", just ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
These Muggsy Bogues. But there he is doing the thing anyway, right? So for somebody takes a swing. But look, we get those shows. We get there's the rookie mini camp day in the life. Did you see that one?
I've turned off my phone. I haven't watched anything.
Oh, good for you.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back next week. Maybe next week. I might do another week after that. And then I want to have a whole bunch of Jets content, and it's going to be super fun. And I'm going to watch I have not seen a single flight yet about the draft. I've seen clips.
Oh, you got to watch it. Yeah, I hear it. Good for you. Take your time.
But I'm just relaxing, man. It's just, it's cool to just turn everything off and just like be with my kids.
And that's important, man. Good for you. It's good. I'm actually going away. I have the next few days off of work. I won't be back at work till a week from tomorrow, which is nice.
You're coming down here, right?
I am. I'm going way down south though, like Homestead, in that area. So nice. I'll be hiding in the swamps for a little bit. But
see any snakes, shoot them.
That's what I heard. I could bring my guns too. Florida's good. I just got to figure out the plane thing with the guns.
It's not that hard.
They'll they frown upon it. I heard. Ask Quinn Williams. He knows. But so guys,
you did it wrong.
Right. Well, so the one thing that we do have, though, we have the schedule coming out. Now, we thought it was going to be tomorrow. We were all psyched up about the schedule tomorrow. And then the NFL said, no, we're going to do it May 15th instead. So on May 15th, we get to find out when we play the teams that we already know we're going to play. But something interesting is out there, guys. So there are sites and organizations creating the strength of schedule. Now I'm going to show you guys something after I say hello to a few people. So Ryder and Talon's Pa commenting that I look sharp. You know what it was? All it takes, my friend, is a haircut. Like I was going to grow it out and I was doing this. I couldn't deal. Yesterday I said enough is enough. And I went and got a haircut. That's the only thing. That's all that's it. It changes everything. You know what I might do this weekend? I haven't decided. I might do a poll. I'm going to do a poll.
They're going to say no.
They're going to say no.
I don't. You haven't even told me. Yeah. I know what the answer is going to be.
I'm contemplating it. So, all right. First off, I did put a poll in there. I'll end it now because I want to do this other poll. But so I asked if you guys are going to go to training camp. Now, Tigo, do you think you'll be able to swing maybe one training camp practice this year, or is it just off the table?
It's off the table, not this year. Just because of we've already, it sounds weird because like I'm unemployed or whatever. I'm a stay-at-home dad, but we've used up our vacation days And so we're doing a cruise with the 1-year-old. We're taking him on a Disney cruise because that's what we did with the older one. So everything you do with the older one, you got to do with the younger one, blah, 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 blah. So that is all of my stuff. Next year, I want to try and get out there, but this year I am booked solid, especially because I'm also trying to go to the home opener because that's still on the table, is to get to the home opener.
And if you're going to prioritize one, that's the one to do it.
Yeah.
You can come and you can hang out with us, with Tailgate Joe and everything. We're gonna have a good time, Tigo. So here's the next question for everybody in the chat. Okay, all you guys watching the Knicks and everything. Here we go. So this weekend, I'm going on a very intense kind of dig into my soul kind of a thing. And I'm contemplating. I haven't shaved my beard in 4 years. I'm contemplating. Now, I'm not, I'm just, for the first time, I'm entertaining it. Because I would do it every year for a long time. I would just, when I would do it, November, no shave November, I would shave. That's what I did. That's just my response. So I'm wondering if I should do it. So I'm going to put it in the poll, see what you guys think. Let's see. Should Green Bean shave his beard this weekend?
I will put this to just sway you a little bit.
Yeah.
You're coming down to Florida for the next let's say 7-ish days. It was 95 degrees today.
So what are you saying?
I'm in Orlando.
I'm in Orlando.
You're going further south than me. It was 95. It felt like 101 because of the humidity.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, Tigo, I lived in Florida for 16 years.
Yes, but that was a while ago. Green Bay. I used to live in New Jersey and New York, and I still now I have troubles with the cold. Like if it gets way too before, I'm still fine. Like if I went to New Jersey for the funeral or whatever, I didn't even take a jacket. I took a hoodie. I was fine. It was in the middle of freaking February, whatever. But every once in a while, you still need to throw on a jacket or whatever. I'm just saying, it's like 95 degrees in here. It's been a couple years.
So you're thinking that it's going to be extra. I'm going to struggle with the heat. You know what I'm going to do tomorrow or Friday morning when I land in Fort Lauderdale? I'm going right. I have 5 hours to myself. I'm going right to the beach in Hollywood Beach, and I'm going to sit there. And I have designs on sitting there all day, but you're probably right. I'm probably going to be out there for 45 minutes and want to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to need an umbrella. I'm going to get one of those old, 1920s ladies umbrellas and walk around. One of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. The poll is up there. Let me know what you think. So we'll see.
New season, new hope, new beard. I'm about it.
Right. Dakota says no way. Look at this. Grove Pete calling me a garden gnome. I'm not a garden gnome. I don't wear the hat. Let me see. I don't have the hat. You jerky pants. So all right. So we got the schedule. So we got the strength of schedule. Now here's something interesting. I'm going to show you guys something. This is the standard, like the CBS. I got this off CBS, but this is what they say the strength of schedule is, everybody. Okay. So here we go. It looks like they say that the Browns have the hardest schedule. Now, what they're going by, everybody, is last year's record, right? So the teams that they're playing, last year's record, 158 wins to 131 losses. Therefore, they have the hardest schedule. As we know, off seasons change a whole bunch of stuff, right? So you look, here we go. We got the Brownies, we got the Ravens, you got the Steelers. They're up top. The Packers, they have the fourth hardest schedule, tied with the Texans. And you get the Bills and the Giants tied at sixth. The Jags and the Raiders and the Pats are at eighth. The Lions sitting pretty at 11, and here come the Jets, tied, four-way tie with the Cowboys, the Rams, and the Niners. We have the 12th hardest schedule in the NFL. Now, does that spook you? Does that you think? What are your thoughts on that, Tigo? Any thoughts one way or the other?
When I originally saw this, and we talked about it before the show, so I won't spoil that until we get to it. But when I originally saw this, I was like, look, I think that this team can beat any team in the NFL. I truly, truly think that. That being said, I really wanted the schedule to give us a break. Now, the good thing is it still can. Remember last year it was supposed to be it was supposed to be a gauntlet in the beginning and it was supposed to get easy at the end, and it kind of showed up that it was easy at the beginning and then was a gauntlet at the end. You can still have it to where the schedule can be easy in the beginning and a gauntlet at the end, or a gauntlet in the beginning and easy at the end. The schedule makers can still make your life very easy. But with the way that this list is made, I do wish we were a little bit closer to the bottom. Like the Miami Dolphins have technically tied for 24th easiest schedule in the NFL. And it's just like, why couldn't that be us? Why couldn't we be just a little bit lower on the list?
Yeah, it would seem like we're supposed to be too. You know what I mean? But remember 2 years ago, in 2022, the Jets started their season playing the AFC North. Remember that? It was the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Brownies. And we ended up 2-2 out of that. And then we ended up on like what, a 6-game win streak or some crazy thing. We were 7-3. And then we ended up 7-9. So the back end of the season ended up with the Jags and the Seahawks that kicked our ass. So the Lions, remember? So you never can tell. But so they're saying that we're at 12th. So that's what this says. Now I want you guys to look at something else. Now, as you guys know, facts are facts and numbers are numbers. But Vegas runs the show. Okay, I hate even saying that shit. But it's the truth. Money talks, bullshit walks, right? So look at this one, Tigo. So this is coming out from DraftKings, everybody. This is a little bit different. Projected strength of schedule using NFL win totals at DraftKings, the easiest strength of schedule. The Falcons, the Chargers, and the Jets are third easiest schedule. The toughest, similar to what we saw, the Steelers, Pats, Browns, but the Vikings are in there, which is a little different, right? Let me see. Let me make sure. Where were the Vikings? The Vikings were 16th on the other one. The Chargers were the 27th hardest schedule. So this is
easiest. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's right in the pocket. But what do you make of this, Tigo? That the Jets are third easiest schedule. What do you think of that?
This is a very interesting one, because the one that we showed before, and we talked about this, was taking the information that we had from last year and just projecting it onto this year. So I mentioned Miami being at 24th. Well, that's including 2 games against the Jets, right? But that was a Zach Wilson-led Jets, not an Aaron Rodgers-led Jets. Where what Vegas is doing, what DraftKings is doing, is trying to implement strength of schedule based on the pieces that were added to the team, right? And this is where you have to find a nice balance. You have to have both to try to come up with an answer here, because, well, the Jets aren't running into this with the same offensive line that we did last year. We're not running in with the same quarterback room that we did last year, the same wide receiver room, the same running back room. The offense got better at every single position, and even tight end. We didn't add anybody there. We just got rid of CJ and promoted Kenny. Tight end room got better. So again, you have this conversation of who's right. Is it Vegas? And I think you said it perfectly. Vegas, money talks, and they're not going to set these odds. They're not going to do these things based off of just BS that they're pulling out of their butts. They want to win. They want to. Right. They want to take your money. So I think that this is a very interesting. I'm not going to say it's the law. They have the third easiest strength of schedule, but the answer has to be somewhere between DraftKings and the NFL, because the previous report that we showed was the NFL. The answer is somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. I think I'm going to go with this one. I think the Jets, I think DraftKings knows. But listen, we got to derail this for a second. Huge Jets news just came out, everybody.
Yep.
No, it's not Devontae Adams. No, it's not the Jets trading for Treylon Burks. All of a sudden, people are dying to clamoring for this 260-yard wide receiver. The Jets, who just a couple years ago made a huge deal about the hiring of Brad DeWeese and his crew. Let's read the article together. Here we go. The Jets have fired Brad DeWeese, everybody, and a few of his lieutenants, as Dick Chimney says here. So the Athletic Care and Performance Department, created 3 years ago to combat a high injury rate, has undergone a shakeup in the aftermath of another injury-plagued season. 3 experts hired to lead the department are no longer with the organization. Gone is Brad DeWeese, who was named in March 2021 the director of high performance, Tigo. Also gone are top lieutenants Robert Sossaman and the assistant director of high performance, Matthew Sams, the director of sports science. A Jet spokesman declined comment, said, "We don't discuss the status of employees. They weren't performance related." No? What were they based on? All 3 performance people that were here to stop injuries get fired amongst major injuries, and it's not performance-based. The Jets still have a performance department that utilizes sports science and supplies information to the football operation, but the usage of that information will continue to evolve over time. They haven't replaced Dr. DeWeese or Sossaman, according to the team's website, and they hired Alexander Carnal as the sports science coordinator. What do you think of this, Tigo? This is pretty big news, everybody.
Yeah, so when we hired everybody on, I was a big fan of the idea of having a dedicated sports science team and doing all of this stuff in the what should have been the correct way, and it just didn't work out. It's just it just didn't work out with them, and so because we've just been plagued with injuries, and I think bringing in a new young voice like Alex Carnal, who's coming in has a master's degree in biomechanics, coming from the University of Memphis, and he is there, I believe. I know he's a professor of applied sports science at the University of Memphis. I don't know if he's also the head of their performance center at Memphis, but he is from Memphis. I know that. Well, he lives in Memphis. He's coming from Tennessee, from the University of Memphis and all that stuff. It's just, again, it's bringing in another person, someone who has new ideas and is going to try to keep our guys healthy. And I think that's a big deal, because whatever we were doing wasn't working, because it's been back-to-back years of massive injuries. And I think bringing in a guy like Alex, who has specifically a focus on biomechanics, is really going to help the offensive line in particular.
Man, it's a crazy thing, because I don't want to jinx anything, but let's just talk. The defense has been...
Don't say it. Don't put it out there. We all know.
Better. I know. How can we talk about this without jinxing it?
The defense, we all know. We don't have to say those words. We know how we've been on the defensive side of the ball in terms of the things that have plagued the offensive side of the ball. Because I'm not saying the I word. I refuse. I'm not saying it in the same thing with the defense.
Yeah. So Joe Douglas says in this article that we've done a lot better with soft tissue injuries, which I think we have. It's just we get we're torn rotator cuffs, Achilles. You know what I mean?
Pecs.
Like we don't play games. We don't have no hammies.
Pecs, Achilles.
Yeah. we're not any, we have heavy duty injuries.
We're busting ligaments.
Yeah.
And I think that is true. We have done better with a lot of soft tissue stuff because, like, if we look at it last year, Sauce and DJ Reed both had to miss the Eagles game with a soft tissue thing. And they came back and they were fine, like relatively quickly. There was that one scary thought that like Garrett got hit pretty bad and he was dealing with a soft tissue thing. Izzy got hit with a soft tissue thing and he came back pretty quickly. Now, it didn't amount to anything, but he came back relatively quickly. So I didn't think about that. That's a good point. We did do better with soft tissue stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know what to make of this. I mean, I don't know if these guys, is it something that they were doing? I don't know. I think when you invest in old dudes like Dwayne Brown and shit, Billy Turner, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. I think they're saying that the strength and conditioning coach is remaining. And he, he has a dual role, everybody. He's vitally is that just me? Vitally important because he's Salah's get back coach.
Yep.
And we know how important that is. That's just crazy. Salah, he's uncontrollable. He cannot do it. He cannot stay. And it's a funny thing with the get back coach because all he does is throw him around. The guy doesn't do it. It doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Nope.
I don't know what that is. Tom Cahill checking in says, we need a strength coach who can assist with the sideline trip play. Absolutely. You remember that, Tigo? Were you a little young for that one? Yeah.
I remember. I watched that one live.
Yeah. That was crazy, man. Remember that? He like kind of just stuck his knee out there and
and then tried to justify it like he wasn't tripping a dude. Like if you do it, just own up to it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I tried to trip the guy. My bad. I'll take my fine. Whatever. I did it. I forgot there were cameras everywhere. But like,
yeah, I forgot that. Right. We're on national television. There are cameras literally everywhere.
I forgot that my life isn't real.
And outside of the ball, where the ball is, the Gunners are the most watched thing right now on this play. I'm just going to stick my foot out there. Fucking idiot. Anyway, I don't know, Tom. Maybe that's what we're going to do. We missed that. Proud New York Jets fan. We know him. I got you covered. Word it this way. We don't want the injury baton handed off to any other rooms. We want the baton burned permanently at my tailgate. I don't know if I would say it like that. I don't want to word it that way. That's weird, Ego.
Yeah.
Isn't that a weird way to word it?
Yeah.
Why does he want me to word it that way?
The baton. I don't even want it to think about it. Let's just not. I'll say this. I just think it's a good move. The transition and all of that stuff. I think the guys that we had before were more Olympic health performance people. Like that's what Deweese was, right? He's, from what I remember when we hired him on, I think he's got double-digit Olympic medals as a coach. Kind of a thing. If someone can look that up, I think he's double-digit. I think he's at like 15, 16 Olympic medals as a coach. So
Deweese or who?
Deweese.
He's a
coach. Yeah, Dr. Brad Deweese. Not he has the medals. As a coach, he's helped like their athletes go get a medals and stuff like that.
So as their doctor.
No, as their coach, as their health and conditioning like coach.
Huh.
So like again, it's a weird situation. But I think bringing in a new voice and a new we've got the information that we need. I think it's very easy to just say, let's get someone who understands biomechanics, which is what the new guy is going to do, and try to prevent these ligament issues.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I was just like you mentioned, I had high hopes for that whole idea. Like kind of raising the bar of the sports science piece, and then also they added the nutritionist piece to that. And it was like this whole new wave of thinking. I thought the goal was to be cutting edge. Remember, Dr. Deweese said, our goal is to be mimicked by the rest of the NFL. We want to have such success here. We want to change the game. And it doesn't look like that happened, everybody.
Nope, it does not.
So I don't know. But thanks, Nick. You can say it that way. I will say this: Nick has a tailgate. So you guys, if you go to the games, it's a good group of dudes over there in the back corner of the parking lot. It's nice. It's nice
by the Giants facility.
That's right. It's quiet. It's nice and quiet back there. Not quiet, but you don't have it is kind of quiet. You get the grass. They are it's a nice little thing. So let's see what else we got here. So like we said, the Jets with the strength of schedule thing, I don't know. It's tough to say right now. But Tigo, if you had to bet, who do you think the Jets are opening their season against? Who's game one? There's rumors that it's the Titans, but what do you think?
I would like to open on the West Coast. Because we have to open away, right? Because we have 9 away games this year. So I think we have to open away. Like week 1 has to be an away game. So I would like for it to be one of the West Coast games, because then you can better prep for a West Coast game with a ton of time, because you can go 2 weeks ahead of time. You can do a whole bunch of different things and start transitioning. So I would love for it to be opening week 1 against the Niners or the Seahawks, or I believe we have Arizona this year. I would love it for it to be one of the West Coast teams. But Seattle's at home, Arizona's away, and then San Francisco's away. So I would love it for it to be one of the West Coast teams away.
Now, do you have any preference? Last year we opened it on Monday Night Football. Do you want maybe just a nice, quiet, non-divisional 1:00 game kind of a thing? What are you thinking?
I would prefer a 4:25.
You like
me a 4:20? Give me the 4:20. I don't care what time the game is at, but so that I can fly in and fly out on the same day, it makes my life easier if it's a 4:25 game.
Well, no, you don't go to the first. You go to the home opener. That's the one.
No. But that's what I'm saying. The home opener. Oh, you're talking about week 1, the away game. Oh, yeah. I would give me a 4:00 game. Give me a 4:00 game. Let me ramp up into football mode and give me the 4:25 spot. The national broadcast game. That's depending on the opponent. If it's the Arizona Cardinals, the 4:25 spot is more than acceptable. But if it's San Francisco, we all know that's going to be a Sunday night game, Monday night game.
Agrees with you. I you know what I want? I want an unassuming, run-of-the-mill 1:00 game against a team that's not a division rival. That's what. Or I want the Pats. I want the Pats. I want the Pats week 1 like nobody's business, because it's about time that we have this ferocious defense. They're going to have a rookie quarterback. It's high time that we get to terrorize one of their damn rookies and start his career on that note of getting chased all over the damn place. Instead
Give me the Pats later.
No, I want them early. Why let them get settled into what they are?
Because they're not going to start May. They're going to try to insist starting Brissett. So week 1, we would just help them get to May quicker. No, let them play the easy part of their schedule so that Brissett's middling. They're 2-4 before they get to the Jet. I want to have a Kenny Pickett situation with the Steelers in his rookie year where we disrespected Mitch Trubisky so much that they had to put Kenny Pickett in, and then destroyed him as well and ruined his entire career because we gave him the yips the first time he was in. That's what I want, because I think they keep Brissett on the field for at least 6 weeks.
Interesting take. Okay, I could see that. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think that they're going to I think May will be the week 1 starter. I totally see your point, though, and that could be right. You want them to you don't want to help them get to May. You want to play May. That's what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're right and May is going to play week 1, I'm with you. Give me Drake May week 1 behind that offensive line and those non-wide receivers. It sucks that I have to root against Javon Baker, but I do. And it's just but give me that. Give me that team week 1 if May is starting. If not, give me them week 7, week 8 when May is just coming in fresh.
You got to root against your boy. I'm rooting against Malik Washington. I already hate his face.
Yeah,
that guy sucks. I can't stand.
It sucks even more because, like, I don't want to say I know Javon Baker, but I've seen Javon Baker around because, like, I go to UCF. That's like I am a student at UCF. I've seen Javon Baker twice. Had a conversation with him once. Like, it was a good time, and it was just like, grrr.
Yeah. Now, I haven't seen Malik Washington around town, but I do work in town, but I don't do anything. I get in my car and I go home. That's what I do. But yeah, that's a tough thing. It's a tough thing about falling in love with players, you know, at college and everything. And then they come and they go to your rival or some shit. It's like, yep, you know, I believe that the Jets might have taken Javon Baker.
I agree with you. You said this on the Monday, or no, you said it on Thursday with Frankie.
Yeah.
And you said that the belief is that they moved out of 111 because Javon Baker went 110. I am 100% in agreement with that. Yeah. It didn't make sense to move back for that trade. It didn't make sense. And Javon Baker was that dude.
Yeah, that would have been great. I still, that's the weird thing. So let's talk about this real quick. Like, so we only brought in one wide receiver from the draft, which really is surprising.
Yep. Especially
when we also didn't add a second lineman, and we did add 2 running backs. So it's a weird, you know, it's just a weird circumstance. So lots of Jets fans they have this mindset right now of bringing in another wide receiver. Now the pickings are slim.
Yeah.
As we know, Tyler Boyd is now with the Titans. So their wide receiver core is nice.
Oh, he went there? I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. He signed yesterday, I believe, was $4.5 million, Tigo.
Jesus, you turn off Twitter for like 3 days and everybody goes everywhere. Like, that's Claypool is now in Diggs's number in Buffalo, and look at that.
Claypool, yep. So all that stuff. So there's not much going on out there. Now we're talking about trading for Treylon Burks. I don't know why. Like, I mean, I guess wide receiver 4 or 5, I'm sure. And I liked him coming out, I have to admit. But I don't see it. I mean, and anybody else you have your eye on? I mean, is you know, what are you thinking now? I think we're kind of done, Tigo.
I hope we're not done.
Who's there?
But I agree with you. Here's the thing. We don't know what we don't know yet, because Morgan Moses wasn't available until he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there might be that, like, Joe Douglas traded out of the 4th to get a 3rd next year, and then the Broncos make Courtland Sutton available, and now it's a different ball game. Now you're having a different conversation because now you've got this wide receiver that you can go get that's an instant upgrade, you know, or whatever.
You never know too, because then you have the Mike Tannenbaum labeled mini draft, which is the big waiver cut down day at the end of training camp. So you never know.
And some UDFA, some 5th round wide receiver is going to take some 2nd or 3rd round guy's job. You know, that's going to happen somewhere. So we might not get the high end, the high upside wide receiver that we wanted. Right. But there is this possibility of a wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 sneaking free because they have these younger guys on cost-controlled contracts that they can control long-term versus this veteran that they signed on a 1-year deal, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's always that kind of idea. But honestly, the only name that's a free agent that I look at that I go, league min deal, come in, sure, is MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and that's literally just to be a burner because it's him or Robbie Anderson, and I'm not doing that again. So, like, and they're the only guys that are like burners that are left, you know, that can just like take a top off of a defense. So that's what I would like. If there's a guy who can take the top off of a defense that's available, go get him. But there isn't very many, and at that point, I'd just be like,
I don't know. I mean,
the crew that we have.
Yeah, I think that the Jets just like Brownlee and Gibson enough to have them as 5 and 6. That's what I think.
This is an interesting question. I want to ask you, Green Bean, and I want to have your thoughts on it. I was having this conversation in another group chat about the Jets and the 53-man roster, and it's way too early to have this conversation about the whole 53-man roster, right? But I was having this conversation about is as much as we love X as a fan base, I think that he is on the roster bubble very, very clearly. Because I think if you look at the rest of the wide receiver room, Xavier Gibson.
X. Okay. I was like,
sorry. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Because if you look at the rest of the wide receiver room, I think that we can confidently say that at least 5 of the wide receivers that are on the team right now are going to be locks to make the team. And that's Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson, Malachi Corley, Alan Lazard, and then Irv Charles, because he can play special teams, right?
Right.
And so then you've got one spot left. Now, technically, last year we took 7 wide receivers, but that was so that we could wait for the cuts to happen, and then we cut a guy, and then we brought a guy in, and because Carter Warren was going to go on the IR, it was this whole thing, right? And no one was going to claim Bawden, so we cut, like, it was cap gymnastics, right? Is there a world in which, because I think that that roster spot is going to be Xavier Gibson versus Israel Abanikanda. Who's going to win the punt return job? Because Izzy needs to find a spot on the roster, because I think he's clearly running back 4. And Xavier Gibson outside of week 1, had a really bad year. 5 fumbles, really bad routes, really bad hands. Just wasn't an asset that we could really use all that well. And I hope for the best, and I hope that he improves. But it's an interesting conversation. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think that Xavier Gibson, do you think that there is a real roster battle between him and Izzy on who's going to be that special teams returner? Or is it just...
No, there could be, because it's a totally different deal this year with the kickoffs. And we don't know exactly what that's going to look like. But let me say this. The Jets released a tweet earlier today, and it said, Tyrod Taylor's deep ball is a thing of beauty, or some shit like that. And it was a slow motion pass. Tyler Boyd launching it down the field. And Xavier Gibson was the receiver. And all I saw was that he went like this. And he caught it instead of with his hands. And I wrote, I said, all I see is a basket catch, everybody. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Look, I'm going to say this. I don't love Xavier Gibson. Okay. I root for him, of course. And he gave us the most exciting play of the whole friggin' year last year.
Yep.
Can't take it away. It was magical. But that was week 1, and he did very, very little. And he had a couple nice plays. He had another touchdown on an end around, but lots of fumbles and stupid shit that he did. And I'm just going to say it, man. I'm not a Gibson fan. I'm not. So I would much rather, if there's going to be that type of a battle, like, look, we drafted 2 running backs, right? So we have 4. I don't know what the plan is with Bawden, but Irv Charles is on the team. And if it's Brownlee or Gibson,
give me Brownlee.
I'm going Brownlee. I am.
I agree. I am in total lockstep with you in that. I'm not the biggest Xavier Gibson fan. Look, X gave us one of the best week 1 moments
ever.
Winning. I was there. That was my first ever Jets game. I will never forget that.
You have as many wins in that building as I have.
And like, I'll never forget that. But this idea that Xavier Gibson is so good that he's a roster lock, which I think a lot of people think, I think is not outside of the realm of possibility. And I will say this, I think the other roster battle that's very interesting that I'm going to watch, because you brought it up, is Nick Bawden versus Zach Kuntz. You can't carry both of them. Are you going to take Bawden for his what seemed like below average run blocking last year, or are you going to keep Zach Kuntz for the upside on the athleticism? Is Bawden going to bounce back a year removed from the injury? Because remember, he missed a year because of injury.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think he's a completely wasted roster spot. That's what I think. I think if you need somebody to act as a fullback for 3 plays a game,
Kenny Aboa.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Kenny
I'm with you.
Yeboah, Ruckert.
Yep.
You can use any of those guys can fill the role. And they got better
Isaiah
hands.
Davis.
They're more. All right, dude.
Just put him at the fullback.
Put Isaiah Davis, Braylon Allen in there.
See that linebacker's chest right there? Put your helmet right there. That's all I need you to do.
Remember, Isaiah Davis told Dom C his favorite thing to do on the football field is to see a blitzing linebacker coming in and decleat him.
Oh, I love it.
Now you know why they drafted him. You don't say shit like that and go undrafted, man.
No.
Allen checking, and he says, don't forget the 25,000 to 1 odds of him scoring a touchdown. Is that real? Gippy?
Picture
you put
it
a dollar
happen.
on it.
Picture it didn't happen. If you have a screenshot of that, send it to me on Twitter.
I don't know, Alan.
I don't know if I believe that. My DMs are open. You can send it.
Yeah. Well,
listen, I don't know if that's real. If that's real and you didn't put a dollar on that, that's crazy. That's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look, you know what's interesting about Gibson and Cespos is saying he was in a UDFA for a reason. Remember Greg Dortch, Cespos? Greg Dortch was the same thing. He came out of Wake Forest, little tiny fella, shifty as hell. The Jets loved him, but he just, too small. They cut him. He bounced around. He was leading the Cardinals in receiving yards most of last year. I mean, he's elected. He's got a spot. He's an NFL player. Let me look at Greg Dortch's stats. I got to see hell.
I think too that not every UDFA is made the same. For example, I think a UDFA that a lot of Jets fans are going to get really, really excited about this year is the DT out of Miami, Leonard Taylor III. And with good reason, because he had no business going undrafted. He had no business going
undrafted. That?
Leonard Taylor III out of Miami.
Right.
He's making the team. I need people to understand that, like right now. Leonard Taylor is making the team. I'd put money on it right now. I don't bet for very, very important reasons, but if I did, I would bet my house on that Leonard Taylor III is making the roster.
Yeah.
I wanted to take him in the 4th. I wanted to take him with the Jordan Travis pick.
Yeah, it's crazy. You want to know who else is making the roster? You heard it here now. Another undrafted free agent. His name is Brady Latham. No, but Brady McGregor too. But he might have a harder time because of the competition. Brady Latham is going to come in and make Xavier Newman and Phil or Jake Hansen memories. That's what I think. I think the guy's nasty as shit, dude. I've been watching him. I like him a whole bunch.
He's a little light. He's a little light, but I agree with you. If you're telling me that you can keep Brady Latham instead of Xavier Newman, I would do that and get him with our new guy. Dude, steaks for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's it.
That's right.
I need 250 pounds of protein a day, not grams, just pounds of. To put
That's
on
why Brad
DeWeese
got fired because he was making everybody eat too many vegetables. So like, dude, you got to stop.
It was too much salmon.
Salmon. There it is.
That's what it was.
Brad DeWeese killed Denzel Mims.
There it is. We found out what happened. You heard.
All right, let me end this poll. I put a poll up there. I'm open to shaving my beard this weekend. I'm not saying I'm doing it, but I'm curious. The poll is closer than I thought, Tigo. I have to admit.
Me too.
59% said no way. 40% of you guys said hell yeah, shave that shit. So, it grows back. That's the fun thing about beards. It doesn't matter. Chris Bradigan says, just popping in, never shave your beard, Green Bean. Well, thank you, Bradigan. I love Bradigan. So yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I got like a weird hankering. I just want to feel my face. It's a weird thing. So I don't know. There was a comment in here about what happens if Williams doesn't make Freedom House. Williams got $10 million, I think 8.3 guaranteed. He's here, buddy. He's playing. Now, you mean if he just doesn't play, if he's injured and everything else, that's going to be a problem. Then you got to really hope that Brownlee can be something because I mean, I think we I think we put a lot of eggs in that basket because, look, we know we love G-Dubs. We have a lot of hope for Malachi Corley. I do maintain that Lazard will be better with Rodgers than he was with Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle.
Of course.
Only because I have 4 years of data to support that mindset and that thought process versus one otherwise. I'm not an Alan Lazard fan, but I think he's going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
But if Mike Williams isn't out there for us a large portion of the season, then we swung and missed on the skill positions this year. Now, hey, look, we focus on the running game. You got Malachi Corley to bolster the passing game. You got the tight ends. Well, I think we're going to be okay. We're not, I don't really see too many holes, but Mike Williams, if he's on the field playing at Mike Williams level, dude, our offense, that raises it a level that nobody else on our roster can do. What do you think about it? You think, number one, are you concerned about Mike Williams' injury? We're not even talking about him. But what do you think about that? Are you concerned? Do you have hopes? What do you think, Tigo?
I'm not concerned about the injury. I'm concerned about the re-injury. The recovery and all of that stuff is coming in. It's just the history that again, to say that I'm not worried would be just lying to people's faces, right? But it's that whole idea of if he's on the field, watch out, because I think we've got a really, really dynamic offense. And if he's not, we'll still have a dynamic offense. It's just going to be mainly Garrett Wilson and hopefully Malachi Corley.
Yeah.
That's the hope, right? Is that you just kind of find ways to get those guys open. But also, I think what I learned from this draft more than anything is that the Jets are going to run the crap out of the ball. Yeah. That's it. The whole idea is let's save Breece Hall's legs for the playoffs. And let's just absolutely annihilate Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, and Israel Abanikanda. Let's run them into the ground and just let's get an early lead and keep it. Let's let our defense play the way that we're supposed to, and then we're just going to halfback dive with Braylon Allen and just hurt some linebackers.
That's right.
Isaiah Davis, Braylon Allen on repeat. Halfback dive. Let's just hurt some linebackers.
That's right.
And that's it.
That's the way to do it. You let Aaron Rodgers play his game, get us a lead. Defense, you keep it. And then when it gets back to the offense, it's the Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis show. 4 yards of carry wins the game, everybody. Snowball checking in says he heard that we're hiring a team of Shaolin monks as conditioning coaches. I heard that too, Snowball. Might be some smoke here around this one. Maybe some fire, I should say. But that would be interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man, I don't know. I really have a lot of hopes for this team this year, guys. I'm pretty excited, but Mike Williams is a big piece. He really is. And I shared those concerns when we were all excited in the hubbub of signing him. Don't get me wrong, I was happy we signed him too. I was much more on the Tyler Boyd train, as you guys know. I think maybe the potential for that explosion off it, maybe that was limited a little bit. Tyler Boyd's more of a consistent guy, which is really all I'm looking for. I don't really give a shit if we're an aerial assault team. I mean, I'm fine if we end up being that. I just want to win, dude. I just want to own the game and win. I hope our offensive line is better this year than it has been. I hope our running game, because look, dude, let's be real. Breece Hall was running into stacked boxes his entire career.
Yep.
And he's one of the best running backs in the NFL.
Yep.
So God forbid, you know what I mean? There's a wide open lanes for him, not only with less guys in the box, but also effective blocking. I don't know, man. Breece Hall's I don't know, dude. The world is his oyster, Tigo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about Breece Hall.
What does this team look like when there isn't 8 guys in the box? That's my biggest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's we've never seen any iteration of this team with a quarterback that commands respect. Well, we did. We saw 4 snaps of it. Right? We've never seen an
And we
iteration.
saw like what, a 25-year run, a Brees Hall run,
Yeah.
and a defensive holding penalty in those first 5 plays.
Yeah. And let us not forget what caused Aaron to get hurt. It was the fact that he saw that Garrett was going to sneak free for a touchdown. That's why he didn't throw it immediately. He wanted to give Garrett another beat because Garrett was going to cut inside and he was going to be gone. It would have been a TD. So
I don't know.
I think because he would have split the safety and the cornerback. He would have been right there. If Aaron would, if he got up and got one more beat, he would have been able to hit it. Garrett would have been gone. So it's like, again, we've never seen this team where the offense actually deserves or commands respect. So it's going to be different.
It's going to be so different. We just got to stay healthy.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. But keep your eyes on Brady Latham. Keep your eyes on Brady McGregor. Undrafted free agent, obviously, Leonard Taylor. We have a nice little batch of potential in our undrafted free agent crop. If I had to bet, which you guys know I do not do, I would say Gibson is a goner. That's what I think. But I think Brownlee and Irv Charles are here to stay. That's what I think. But who knows? A lot of time left. Tigo, that's our show, buddy.
Yes, it is.
40% of people want me to shave my beard. That's all I gathered tonight. That's all I learned. And that Brad DeWeese was fired. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Big news tonight, guys. Our sports science team that was so highly touted just a couple of years ago, gone. All of them gone. But not because of their performance, Tigo. That's what they said. Not because of performance, just because it was time to go. Whatever that means. But with that said, don't forget, Tico's taking a little break, but be back next week.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't be here for this show next week. I'll be flying back during our show. So you got to figure that out. But other than that, don't forget to support Tigo at Talking Jets with Tigo. The link is in the description, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe right here to Talking Jets. That's a big deal. We will do the Thursday thick of it tomorrow. Gunny is back in town, so we'll have that show, and then I am off to Florida. 4 a.m. I'm leaving for my plane, and I'll be down there in the 95-degree disgusting heat, reminding myself why I moved. That's what I'll be doing down there.
You got to remind yourself why you moved every couple of years. I do that with Jersey, New York. I go back up to remind myself why I came to Florida.
That's right. You got to remind yourself because you start fantasizing. You're like, it might be nice to.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I don't. There's not even a bodega near me. Where am I going to get a Taylor ham, egg and cheese? Like it's just and then you find a spot, and then I found a pizza spot. It's not New York. It's close,
but it's good.
It's close.
It's good enough.
It's good enough.
It's good enough. I hear that. I got you. But guys, that's it. No, I trim it all the time. I'm talking about shit. I don't know. Sometimes you want to feel your face, Snowball. We'll see. I probably won't do it. That's the truth of it. But we'll see. This is the first time I've even entertained it in about 4 years, which is new for me. So, guys, that's our show. I hope you have a great night. Beanbaggers, if you're here, I know a few of you are in here. I'll see you in a few minutes over in our private Zoom room. If you want to join the Beanbaggers, you can do that. Click the link. And I don't even know if I put the link in the description, but it's in all my other videos if you want to do it on my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash those milk thumbs for us, everybody. And with that all said, have a great night. We will see you next time.